How many of you have been campus before? I forgot. Okay. I think all of you probably know this. And the thing that I realize is that interaction time is probably the one time you've got the most control over. And thus, there's a time, especially that first interaction, a lot of you know, that first interaction, within 5 minutes, if that first interaction sucks, you've got a long way to go, right? If that first interaction is dead, then it's going to be hard to build any kind of team unity. It's going to be hard to do any kind of your cheer thing. It's going to be hard to do any of that kind of stuff. But if your first, especially your first 5 minutes, if it's good and bang on and it's got energy in it, chances are you're going to have a lot easier time to help bring your team together. All right? And so what I want to do is I want to take the next few minutes just to go over this whole idea of interaction planning. Because I think if you can nail this down, okay, you've got a good chunk of your work done, and this is part of the whole being well prepared stuff. If you can map this out and know where you're going, why you're going there, and what you hope to accomplish, if you got all that in mind, and as you're running through that, I think that'll be very beneficial. So, a couple of things, a few things to keep in mind about interaction planning, and you've got a couple of handouts that are coming around. One, the half sheet. You've probably seen in the past in either, well, for those of you who've been captains before, you've probably seen that in your team captain handbook and whatnot. Just looking at the overall purpose of the interactions. And I throw this up here because sometimes what you want to happen in interaction may be slightly different than what's on here, and that's okay. Because as you're planning through it, as you're praying through it, I trust that you will know your team better than we do. And because of that, you know, as you're thinking through interactions, know why. What's the purpose of interaction 1, day 1, of interaction 2, interaction 3, you know, day 2, 1, 2, and 3. What's the point of each of those 6 sections? And so this is a guideline to give you an idea of what to look at. But like I said, if you want to change that around, that's fine. But you have to know for sure, why am I doing this? What's the point of this? Second of all, and you see that on the second handout, it's setting up a cue sheet. Now, and I'll run through an example of this in a minute. But basically mapping out minute for minute, what is this going to look like? TV producers do this all the time, you know, and they do it not. I mean, for them, they have time constraints, right? They've got 22 minutes of programming somehow in half an hour with commercials in between. And so they map out minute for minute for minute, especially live TV, they map it out minute for minute for minute, exactly what they're looking for and how do they get there. And I'll show you what that looks like for us.